Hi, I'm now going to write a handler that will find the position of the maximum value. So instead of finding the 51, at the end of the handler I would like to have 4 in there because it is 1, 2, 3. It's in the 4th position. So following the same logic as just finding the maximum value, I'm going to start my pos max value off at 1 and say that at the beginning, when I'm just starting off, I'm going to assume that the maximum value so far is in position 1. And then I'm going to have a look at the other values. So I'm going to start my index off at 2. And I'm going to say if data list 2 is greater than, and this is the sort of little tricky bit here, is that this is my position of maximum value. So I need to look at data list at that number. So instead of just saying greater than pos max value, I want to ask whether it's greater than data list at pos max value. So I'm going to be asking, is data list 2 greater than data list 1? Well, it is, so I'm going to change this to 2. Then I'm going to change index to 3. And I'm going to ask if data list 3 is greater than data list at pos max value, because that's the current position of the maximum value. Is it greater than data list 2? Well, no, it's not, so I'm not going to make a change here. Index changes to 4, so I'm now looking at data list 4, and I'm saying or asking, is data list 4 more than data list at pos max value? Well, pos max value is 2, so data list 2 is this one. So it's asking if data list 4 is greater than data list 2. Well, it is, so I want to change the position of my maximum value to 4. And then need to go all the way through, it's a fixed loop, up to 5, and I'm going to ask if data list 5, this one here, is greater than data list at the position of the maximum value, which is 4. So is data list 5 greater than data list 4? Well, it's not, so pos max value stays at 4. So the values that are going into here are the values of index every time I pick up a higher value. So pos max value is going 1, 2, 4. So let's go and do that in live code. So you'll see I've got a handler here called find position of maximum. I'm passing in how many elements there are and the array that I want to look at. I have a local variable index for doing my counting, just as I had on the Word document. There's index, and I need pos max value to track the value of the position of the maximum. So let's put pos max value, and I'm going to put, and if you remember, I put 1 into pos max value. And then I look at all the other ones and I say if I found one that's greater, then I want to put the index value into pos max value. So let's just do that line. I'm going to put index into pos max value. So the only sort of tricky bit that seems to throw people sometimes is what you put in here. And going back to the Word document, we were asking whether, let's just put this back to 1 and index is at 2. We're asking if data list 2 was more than data list at pos max value, depending on which one was in there. So both parts of the comparison need to have the word data list. we're asking if our array data list at index is greater than our array data list at posmax value. And if it is, then I want to put my index into posmax value. At the end of it, I should have the position of the maximum value in posmax value, so I'm just going to put that into the field. And again, let's just make sure the handler name is correct. And this is the call, find position maximum, and I have two formal parameters. So when I call it, I'll say find position maximum, and still working with our array called ages, which is being carried globally across the various buttons. So let's get some data, and let's do 20, so that's our current maximum at 1. Let's do 25, so our maximum value is at 2 now. Let's do a smaller value, 3, no good. Let's do 51, so the fourth at the moment is the current maximum value. And let's just display the data. There it is there. Let's see, find out how many are over 18. Oops. Oh, I forgot to put in 18, never mind. Maximum age is 51, and the position of the maximum age is 4. Thanks for watching.